Witch Studios is truly an impressive studio. Their first project ever was Attack on Titan. I don't think I need to talk much about Attack on Titan as to why it's amazing. Then they did an Attack on Titan clone, which kind of sucked, but it looked incredible, so the studio did its job. They also took a manga with art so incredible that it's nearly impossible to be converted into anime format, and they converted that into anime format. And this year they did shows like Great Pretender, again an extremely unique concept in anime, very unique execution, and Vivi, another pretty well acclaimed show. And now they're doing Osama ranking. Every time Witch Studios tries to do something, they sort of excel at it. They just never miss. Witch Studios can't miss, and most of it just it's because they're such a passionate studio. Of course, the passion is a double-edged sword. They make an extremely impressive work of art every time they try something, but it also hurts their studio. It's like in a $4 million debt the last time I checked, which is like ridiculous. It might result in the shutting down of that studio. Either that or they turn into Mappa. They just make a bunch of shows for the sake of money, where high quality or not, they just make shows. I don't think that's what the studio is about. The studio is all about high quality passion projects, and their most recent show, Osama Ranking, is just that. Osama Ranking is still airing. The last episode that aired was episode 11, so I'm making this video before the show even ends so that you guys can catch up and just enjoy the show. So the reason I started watching Osama Ranking is not because of the studio. Well, most people, yeah, they watch because it's Witch Studios. I watched because it's a particular person working with Witch Studios. He's not a Witch Studio employee, but he likes working with Witch Studio. It's Arifumi Imai. Arifumi Imai did almost all of the incredible looking scenes in Attack on Titan. He animated Levi vs. Beast Titan. He animated Levi vs. Female Titan all the way back in season 1. And he's been a very important component of Attack on Titan's production when it was airing in Witch Studios. For Osama Ranking, he's the assistant director, which is a bigger role. It's a much bigger role than just action director or action animator. He has far more creative control here than he did in Attack on Titan. Not saying he did not have a creative control in Attack on Titan. He did because he's such a well-respected animator. But being the director, the assistant director, yes, that comes with a lot of benefits. Because when you're in the show as a permanent component of the show, you're going to attract more people from the rest of the industry. Yes, so yeah, that's why I got into Osama Ranking. Like, I don't care if the story's bad. I don't care if the characters are blatantly generic and poorly written. As long as the animation is good, I'll still enjoy the show. And even I, who's like a blatant animation nerd, I'm currently watching Osama Ranking to see how the plot will progress and to see how the characters will develop. Not saying that the animation is bad, because it truly is one of the best produced shows this year, but the plot and the characters are just that good. The main characters in Osama Ranking are Bojji and Kage. Bojji is a prince born with a rare disease such that not only can he not hear or speak, he's also can't get stronger. Like, it's physically impossible for him to get stronger. And Kage is from a clan of assassins. Detailed backstory is given in episode 2, so I'm not going to go too in-depth to that. But he's Bojji's loyal friend, and their interactions, it's amazing. But so is every single character interaction in the show. All the characters are amazing. Osama Ranking is truly an impressive show. Every single character has so many layers of characterization that it's truly impressive that the author was able to make not a story with one main character and a bunch of side characters, but just a bunch of main characters. It's like one episode just takes one character and then shows their backstory, in which we get to know all of their intentions, what kind of person they are, everything about them. And it's perfectly integrated into the story. Like, it's not an episodic show. The plot always progresses. It just accumulates all of these characters, all of their development, just so seamlessly. It's truly impressive how the characters are written in Osama Ranking. There are no generic characters. All of the characters, their intentions, they make sense. They're realistic characters. Every single character, we know their intentions, except one of them. Like, that's just because we haven't seen their backstory, and that character is just playing 4D chess with everyone, every single character in the show and the viewer. Like, we don't know what they're thinking. I'm not going to spoil who that is, but other than that, You come to your own conclusions about these characters based on the first impressions, like you do with any character. And in most shows, you are going to be right. It's anime, it's mostly just going to be generic characters. But with this show, the subversion of tropes is just so well done that you are going to be wrong 90% of time. And it's not like forced wrong. It's not like, oh, look at this character. She is cute and she's so nice. Psych, bitch. She's actually evil. It never feels forced. It's not edgy. It's not for the sake of shock value. It's always integrated seamlessly. It never feels out of place. And then you get their backstory. You get to see exactly why they did what they did. And you sort of sympathize with them. Sometimes you're still angry at them, but you still understand them. They are characters that make sense. And these characters are truly what makes Ousama Ranking so impressive. The plot is pretty basic. Like, Bojji is trying to be the king. Bojji, the main character, he has so many defects, but he's still trying to be the king. And there's a lot of things stopping him. There's a lot of stuff happening all around him. And that's what really makes the show good. It's not about the macro element, it's about the micro elements of the story and how well the micro elements interact with the macro element. Like, I'd say the macro element is still very important. Take The Last of Us 2, for example. I think The Last of Us 2 is an incredible game with the micro elements. But the macro element is just so bad that the micro elements are just, why would you even care about them? But for Ousama Ranking, the micro elements they just perfectly complicate the macro element, which is Bojji getting stronger. And you might think that's generic, but it's truly not, because you won't see this type of a story in anime. You might just think it's just an underdog story, and you'll be right. But just everything around the fact that it's an underdog story, is what makes the show so good. As for the technical side of things, it's so good. It's such a good show. Arifumima, as I already mentioned, he's the assistant director. But not only him, there are so many veteran animators in the show. The people that I show you in this montage animated in one episode. What really makes Ousama Ranking so good is the simple character designs. The simple character designs allow for there to be a lot of movement. Like, if you take the average drawing count for Ousama Ranking, it's probably going to be some crazy high, like 10,000 frames of drawing per episode or something. Because there is that much movement in every episode. Shut the fuck up, dog. That stray dog starts barking every time I try to make a video. The character designer knows what they're doing. Just having simplistic character designs with no line art, it just makes it easier to animate. All the characters are just so expressive that it sometimes freaks me out. It's like Kage, one of the main characters. He's literally a black blob with eyes and like a puppet hand with a mouth. But you can tell exactly what he's thinking or what he's feeling at every single given moment, just from the character acting. You would think it would not be possible to make him expressive, but somehow the animators do that. Somehow the character designer made Kage in such a way that the animators make him expressive. It's fucking ridiculous, the amount of effort that the animators are putting into the show, and it is, as I said before, one of the best looking shows to come out this year. It does beat Jujutsu Kaisen in terms of overall movement. I would say the closest competition it has is Mushoku Tensei Core 1. I would say Core 1, not the entirety of Season 1, because Core 2 had some wonky scenes. Just not wonky scenes, it just didn't have enough movement to classify as a full Sakuga show. Core 1 though was a masterpiece. And yeah, this is up there. Ousama Ranking is just that incredible. Yeah, the studio is just going all out for this show. It's just a really impressive show. As far as the best show of the year, I don't know if I can call it that, because the last episode is still left. But I do think it's one of the best shows to come out this year. I would say the closest competition it has is Odd Taxi. Odd Taxi is another extremely unique show, but Odd Taxi is not as impressive as this is visually. And it also has not a lot, but it does have some blatant plot inconsistencies and plot holes that Ousama Ranking just does not have. And another close competitor would be Mushoku Tensei. I did not enjoy Mushoku Tensei as much as the other person did. I would say it's a 9 on 10. You'd say that's very high, but Most people think it's a 10 on 10, and I don't think it's a 10 on 10. So yeah, there's that. Of course, if you're talking about sequels, Jujutsu Kaisen's second core and Attack on Titan the final season are all amazing. But as far as new shows go, Ousama Ranking is one of the best shows to come out this year. And I think everyone should give it a try. You would be hooked after the second episode. If you're not hooked with the second episode, you'll definitely be hooked after the third episode with Queen Hilling's characterization. It is just that good. Queen Hilling is my favorite character in the show. And yeah, that's about everything I wanted to say. You go watch Ousama Ranking, catch up with episode 11, then we'll watch episode 12 together in my second channel where I upload reaction videos. I've reacted to every single episode so far in Ousama Ranking, and I break down the scenes that I did like immediately, like with this animation analysis segment. So yeah, that's about it. If you want to watch the show with me after watching it to see what I'm talking about it, you can go there. So until then, keep moving forward, destroy enemies and not your dick.